anybody else got a cold they can't shake? Well, I do. The Girl That Died is the 5th episode in the current series, Series 9, of Doctor Who, ever since its relaunch in 2005. I do beg your pardon, I'm going to be coughing a lot, I think. So, Maisie Williams, Game of Thrones fame, stars in this, and she's my favourite of the Stark children. I'm like, nothing bad can happen to Maisie at this point. If she dies, I'm gonna quit Game of Thrones in a gigantic hissy fit with a lot of tears. So the episode starts off. It's not really a recap, this thing, is it? I'm gonna say Brian Blessed was slated to play Odin, and I really missed the fact that whoever played him had a nice beard. Well, it wasn't Brian Blessed. There's only one Brian Blessed, and that's Brian Blessed. I'm gonna miss that man should he ever come to pass away. Obviously, he's not gonna pass away because he's gonna shout death down. That's how it works, obviously. Him and Alan Moore. So, I really don't have a lot to say about this episode. Not like about the actual episode itself. It's mostly, I wish Odin was Brian Blessed, because Odin was a serviceable villain, and the Maya were not too impressive as a new species. But, you know, they did what they had to. Nectar. But it's more about, Jamie Matheson wrote both Mummy on the Orient Express and Flatline last year in Series 8 of Doctor Who, which came back ever since the relaunch in 2005. And those were my absolute two favourites of last year's series of Doctor Who. Series 8, which came back in 2005 ever since the relaunch. And he co-wrote this with Stephen Moffat, and I've got the feeling the episode was mainly his, and it's by far from a bad episode. It's fun, it's enjoyable from start to finish. It didn't bother me. Nothing jumped at me of which I said, oh my god, I can't believe they fucking did this. But I had the feeling that Stephen Moffat wrote in like a lot of bits that made his overarching arc, which is what I'm now going to get into, if you don't mind. If you don't like spoilers, click away. Go click on that video. It's probably me playing chess. If it's not me playing chess, it's probably somebody else who's far more popular at this kind of thing than I am. So, spoiler warning, last chance. The Doctor recognises where his face comes from. It's from the fires of Pompeii, the David Tennant episode from Series 4 of Doctor Who, which came back ever since the relaunch in 2005. And the fires of Pompeii is, again, it's a fun episode. It's not too bad. And it stars Peter Capaldi as chappy chap, Roman fella, whose name I forgot. Probably Kai or something. You know me, I'm terrific with names. So he recognises, he's like, oh, I know who frowned me this face. And you get a little flashback to Fires of Pompeii, a little flashback to Deep Breath. And he goes, I know why I chose this face. And I'm like, oh my god, this is actually, in Deep Breath, they emphasise this quite a bit. The entire dialogue with the bum, which was more of a monologue with the Doctor himself, but the homeless man was just there to be a receptacle for his verbal assaults. And then later on, when he faces the half-face man, he's like, you don't even remember where you got this face from. And he held up that silver tray, and he got reflected in it as well. And it's like it's a juxtaposition where he was talking to himself, but to the half-face man as well. So he looks in a pail of water, or a bucket of water, something containing a body of water. So, and he sees himself, and you get a flashback, like I said, and this felt a bit cheap to me. This felt... he says to Clara he knows why he picked this face, or why he got this face. It's to remind him that sometimes he just has to save a life. Not everybody's lives, like ripples and waterfalls, ripples and tidal waves, that's the metaphor we used. It's simpler. So he saves spoiler Isilda, who's being played by Maisie Williams, and I probably got the name wrong because it's quite an unusual name, who died during the course of the episode, like as in the episode of the title implies, the girl who died. She dies. So he saves her life in a way he wasn't really meant to, so she ends up like a bit like Jack Harkness, I'd say, without the entire I die, I live, I die, I live again, witness me thing. So, is that it, really? He picked his face because regeneration is predictive text. I mean, sure, fine. Sometimes I suppose I could do that. I mean, is that why the Sixth Doctor looks like Maxwell or Maximilian or Max something, who faced the Doctor in the Fifth Doctor, and I lost the name of the episode, when the Fifth Doctor met Omega, I prefer Omega, in Amsterdam. I lost the name of that serial. I'm going to have to look this up, this is bothering me. You are going to witness professional work at work. Right, so, okay Google. Doing it wrong. Okay Google. Fifth Doctor, Omega. Arc of Infinity, there we go. Arc of Infinity. One of my favourite Fifth Doctor series, to be honest. Despite the fact that I didn't know the name. So, the Doctor's regenerated into Peter Capaldi because he once saw Peter Capaldi as the 10th Doctor, which made the Doctor, before he regenerated at least his body, to remind himself as the Doctor that one day he has to save someone, not everybody, just someone, like a family or a girl who died. Episode. So, is that it? Is that really it? Is that what we got a 5-minute exposition for in an alleyway? Is that what the scene with the half-faced man was for? Is this it? Is this really it? I mean, I'm not, this is far from the worst thing ever, but it's like, okay. I was expecting more, but okay. Well, seeing as we're still talking spoilers, quite happy Maisie Williams wasn't the Doctor's daughter. Not saying I hate the Doctor's daughter. The episode The Doctor's Daughter gets a lot of flack, but I quite like it. I quite like nearly all of Series 4. I quite nearly like all of New Who, to be honest. I'm not one of those people who hate a lot of things. Once I like something, I like it very easily. So, quite happy she isn't the Doctor's daughter, because I'd really like to just see Georgina Moffat, or Georgina Moffat Tennant, or Georgina Tennant Moffat, or Georgina Tennant, I'm not quite sure what she calls herself nowadays, Georgina Davison, to come back as the Doctor's daughter at one point, but, you know, Maisie Williams being like Jack Harkness, so the next episode is the woman who lived. Direct continuation of the girl who died. This is good. I like that. It's a twist. I'm happy they did. Well, it's not really a twist. Everybody knew she was going to be a highwayman. But, you know, at least she's not a Time Lord, because everybody was saying she was a Time Lord. I'm just quite... It's like with River Song. Everybody was saying she was Amy and Rory's daughter. And I was like, nah, they're not going to do something like that. That twist is too easy. And now everybody was saying Maisie Williams was playing the Doctor's daughter. And I'm like, oh, Jenny, I think she isn't, but you know, I was proven wrong last time. But good to know I can be proven wrong. I am not, if anything, I am perfect, but I'm not infeasible. Right, and then I'm going to end this bit with a little bit of hypothetical about the bantering. I think, spoiler, after the Doctor's face and Maisie Williams dying and coming back as Jack Harkness, but not Jack Harkness, this is just speculation. I think, alongside some other people, Clara has already died. The Doctor has seen Clara die and is taking past Clara on a couple more goes before he can say goodbye to her. When we saw him in The Magician's Apprentice, he hugged her, he was tearful, and he's like, it's just another way of hiding your face. I still can't do a Scottish accent. And he's dressing like a depressed slob, you know, loose t-shirt, hoodie instead of his actual magician's jacket. And it's like that in the first two episodes, which were continually one continuation of each other, the third and the fourth, which were directly following each other as well. But again, there's now the fifth episode, and we know he's getting new digs like the red velvet jacket, but he's still dressed up like a slob, like he's mourning, he's grieving, like a bad breakup. I did that once, and I shaved everything. Like, this, that, gone. I was like the incredible bald. I was like Matt Lucas's cousin. I was like Floris Lucas. So, I hope she doesn't die. Not because I like Clara, but I'd like a companion to just walk away from the Doctor at one point, like without any fuss, without any hassle. Just, you know, like, it's been fun. I've got to get on with my life now. But with Clara, they've been building up to, like, she can't quit the Doctor now. The Doctor's everything to her. The Doctor's literally everything to her. So, yeah, Clara might be a ghost. Because, like he said in Hyde, you're all ghosts. Well, like I said, it's not really talking about the episode. It's only talking about the overarching theme. But the next episode is The Woman Who Lived. It's got Rufus Hound in it. Rufus Hound is one of my favourite stand-up comedians, British ones anyway. Plus, if you've ever seen Argumental, the Dave series, he's got a gigantic tattoo of a Dalek. Gigantic or gigantic, tweet at me at Dutch Sticker, because I've gotten into a spat last weekend about that. He's got a tattoo of a Dalek, and he's just the biggest Who fan ever. If it wasn't for the fact he's probably like 5'9", so he might not literally be the biggest Who fan ever. Anyway, looking forward to that. I like me some Highwayman hijinks. Sounds like a Donkey Kong Country level to me. So, is this a thing now? Doctor Who exactly? Doctor Who exactly? Oh, by the way, if you're ever curious what this tune is, it's when the fourth Doctor regenerates into the fifth. If you only...
He was the Doctor all the time.
Leave a comment down below if you disagree with anything I've said, if you hate me, if you think I'm stupid, if you think I'm fat, if you think I'm ugly. Do that. If you'd like to personally, verbally